Oh, greetings there again, travelers. Welcome to these weird and peculiar and strange update things to try and break up the monotony of these stream highlights. We actually got this painting done on yesterday's stream, and I really actually dig this one. I was actually really intimidated to paint this one out. There's a lot of them where I'll do the drawing, I'll do the ink, and I've messed them up, and I actually end up, it kind of feels like I just end up ruining the drawing. But yeah, this one we got done. We actually used somewhat of a pretty limited palette for this painting, and we actually have the palette right up in here. And this is the first palette that we have up in here. We got the green, we got the skin tone, here's the hair color, but also what was hard to get is this purple right up in here, and we mixed up like 7, 8, 10, 20 batches of different purple hues up in here to achieve this almost kind of indigo purple blue up in here. And if you guys were wondering, the tools that we're using to illustrate these things, the first layer is actually, the sketch first layer is with this colored pencil, and then we use a 0.5 Papermate pencil. This one right here, this break resistant one, and then we use a 003 micron, which these ones are the smallest microns. I did try and use these Japanese, there's these Japanese pencils called pens called the High-Tech C 0.25. The only problem with these ones is they will actually smear if you put water to it, and we are using acrylic paint to paint these out, but I'm using the acrylic paint kind of like watercolor. If you can actually see these, I'm mixing these batches really thinly to get a watercolor look, but the problem is these ones will actually smear. So word of warning, anybody that's going to try and use these pens. But these ones actually are smaller than these ones. Now I wish they made these ones like this, but I guess they don't, right? And then we use also a Mono Zero Elastomer Tombow eraser, and this one it saved me a lot of heartache, especially going in. I mean, maybe we can clean some up right here. We could go in and see how there's like a little bit of colored pencil still right there. You can just go in and you can clean it up right there, and really nice eraser up in here. I use this one a lot. And then for the painting process, it's kind of crazy. I actually used to use all these various different brushes. Now the thing is, I did used to oil paint. I actually was taught in the oil painting technique, and sometimes they use big old flat sables and all sorts of different brushes, and that's kind of what I started to try and do. I wanted to take the oil paint technique and kind of put it on these cards. But the thing is there is this artist, his name is Klug, and the crazy thing is he would paint his entire altars with a single brush, and he actually does it with this brush right here, which shout outs to Klug Altars. He's actually one of the first altar guys to really start making me actually inspired to want to do these things. Now, I have been getting asked why I actually paint so tiny and why I'm painting on these little cards. Well, the thing is, I've actually had a bunch of friends because of the game of, MTG, this game right here, MTG, which strangely enough, they're one of the few games that have even put any Bible verses on anything, which is kind of the peculiar thing about it, right? But for like 4 years, man, 4 years, like my friends were just consistent, just like they kept telling me to, paint on their cards and stuff like that, because, people in like the Pokemon or like MTG or, stuff like that, they want like the special edition cards, and when you start painting on these cards, it kind of makes it a one of one, right? Because it's not a printed one. So it's kind of weird because I actually I'm used to painting much bigger, right? Like on big canvases and stuff like this, and drawing on big pieces of paper. So it was quite a crazy shift to try and learn how to draw and paint and ink really small. But now that I actually have kind of gotten a bit more comfortable with it, I actually really enjoy it, because there's something very cool about painting something and then having people actually use your painting. So like it's really cool when you do some commissions for some people and you see them actually use your painting. It's almost like these paintings almost have like a use where you can play them. Well, I guess not this one specifically, because these basically, if you guys see a bike one, it's generally for myself. But yeah, we got up in here, we got Luke 9:23. We got this cross up in here. Now it is kind of odd. I don't know about you guys, but for some reason I've been meeting a lot of believers, and for some reason they've been kind of getting into some almost kind of like goth-esque, almost like, like the hardcore band, like letter logos where it's all like jaggedy. I've been seeing that like kind of thing going on a lot actually. So I've been kind of experimenting with that on this one, which was actually pretty fun. Kind of looks kind of cheesy, but oh well. We got a peace sign up in here, and then we got what is this? We have a Vine brake cable. Now this is actually a very, very odd BMX bike. It's almost kind of, I would almost say, Lino Gonzalez, early Animal Styles-esque, because, shout outs to the early Animal videos, because people would just be rocking a straight cable, and then also they'd be rocking a front brake. And it's just this setup right here, if you see someone rocking a straight cable and two brakes right up in here, front and back brakes, it's definitely a pretty rare setup, because most people I've been noticing that ride this setup, they always have a gyro. But we actually do have a locking lever up in here. And then look at the stem. We actually did experiment a little bit with the stem. Got that little indentation up in there. Now what's really cool, what I like about drawing BMX bikes, is because it kind of feels like you're playing some sort of like BMX game where you can kind of like customize the geometry and stuff. And also, man, it must be a trip to be like, I can't even imagine being like a pro or something, being able to like pick out your own geometry and stuff like that. I honestly think what would be really cool is if you were in that kind of, I don't know if you could have, what it's even called, but if there's like some sort of prototype geometry tester guy out, I think that would be actually pretty cool, right? Yeah, we got some pegs up in here. We got the little front brake up in here. I was maybe gonna put those salmon colored pads. I was gonna put a little bit of red right there. Yeah, we got a 4-peg bike, and we got this little peace sign on this shoe. Almost kind of has a van-esque look about these, and we have a chain that is breaking. And this is actually from the inspiration, because I hear so many Christian songs talking about the breaker of chains. Yeah, and this one was about, I think this verse is about bearing our cross, something like that. But yeah, also what's cool is that I also have, a lot of times I forget to take the picture of the sketch, but we actually have the sketch up in here. So you guys can see the actual ink sketch prior to painting this card out. And yeah, that's pretty fun. But what's cool about these edit things, which is I guess kind of cool just to practice, talking, I guess, is just, dude, these videos are crazy just because, like, I kind of just see these videos as I'm just going to fail every single one of them. And if I kind of go in with that mindset of like, okay, well, I don't, because at this point, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos I have to still upload and stuff like this. So I kind of feel like I can experiment a little bit more with just being like, okay, well, let's just try this or this and this. And I'm not really about the views, because what's odd about these update things is, dude, sometimes I'll just upload something where I like barely edit it at all. And then it get like, for some reason, maybe it's just the title or the time of day, or I honestly think it's just the thumbnail, dude. I think it's just the thumbnail, But what's cool about these is also we can shout some riders out, everybody, and that's what we're going to do right now. All right, let's observe some riders up in here. Now, there's a particular trick we're going to look into, and it's actually the elbow glide, everybody. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, isn't it weird when you kind of remember and you look back and you kind of go, oh, interesting. I actually kind of remember the first rider I ever saw to do an elbow glide. And I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, which shout outs to this guy. This is from Joel Moody, and it's from his Chill Bro part. I actually had to put the actual video on because for some reason YouTube, I think, took this video down. I think it's because it has a Bob Marley song in it. But yeah, shout outs to this legend. And this is from the Empire BMX Chill Bro video. And this was the very first elbow glide I ever personally saw. Yeah, shout outs to Joel Moody up in here. And it was this clip right here. And it was crazy because it was actually a street line. Now the thing is actually, I was personally, a lot of my friends were a lot more influenced with like Chase Hawk and stuff like this. But it was only me looking back and watching some of Joel Moody's clips. I was like, oh, interesting that he's kind of bringing some Flatland-esque stuff into street riding, which is really, really cool. Now, does he do an elbow glide? No, he does actually a steamroller in this one. But yeah, if you guys want to watch a cool edit, go and check out Empire BMX Chill Bro. Should come up on here. I don't know where it is, but all right, let's keep going. Let's see who else we got up in here. Oh, yeah, shoutouts to this guy, Perry Mervar, because I think this is probably the second elbow glide I ever really saw someone do. And shoutouts to this edit, which this particular edit, I would actually almost say that this edit right here is one of the ones that got me into wanting to learn Flatland in the first place. Now, I know I sound like a crazy person, but it was actually also because of this particular song in this edit. You know, the thing, and how I found this rider is I just, you know, I was living in Long Beach, people would talk about Dave Smith, and, you know, I looked up his name, I looked up Dave Smith, and for some reason, the YouTube algorithm brought this edit to my attention. This exact edit right here. And there's a particular lyric in the beginning of this video as well as an elbow glide. So let's watch this. And it was because of that lyric right there. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And I know I sound crazy, but this is actually what got me into Flatland. I was just like, what in the world? But yeah, let's watch this elbow glide line. It's really actually a gnarly elbow glide line. So let's watch this again. He just straight up just did a double. By the way, if any of you guys have any how-tos, you guys should try and make a how-to on how to do multiple whiplashes, because I'm still stuck on one whiplash. I don't know how you guys do multiple whiplashes. Someone was saying that some people tap their brakes, and I'm just like, what in the world? Because then I see a lot of people do it brakeless. You know, someone was saying I guess the world record for it was 52 whiplashes from Kevin Jones. I think someone said he was tapping his brakes, but I'm like, I don't know, because it's weird because I see a lot of brakeless guys don't even tap their brakes because they don't have brakes, right? But let's watch this edit right here. Yeah, he does a double whiplash. Now, I wonder if you guys do you think he was tapping his brakes right there? I'm not sure. Oh, look, then he goes into, I guess that's an inside elbow glide, huh? Now, this line is freaking gnarly. Look at how many tricks he does in this first line. And dude, I love all the people. Dude, look at the vibes in the background, dude. People are just living by the beach, man. This is some awesome vibes. If you guys can't tell, I actually do a lot of tricks because of this edit. Got a swivel into a locomotive, which there are no how-tos on how to do this trick. This trick is freaking crazy. Man. Gnarly edit right there, man. Dude, shout out to this edit for even getting me even wanting to learn Flatland. Okay, let's keep going up in here, because there's a lot of people that do elbow glides, everybody. Now, because of that specific edit, it made me start looking into the lore of how to learn the elbow glide. And shout out to this guy right here. This is Matthew Wilhelm, and this is tutorial on how to Flatland trick number 46 elbow glide from Ground Rules. And that's Matt Wilhelm himself, the legend. This guy just spins so fast nowadays. If you see recent clips of this guy, it is freaking crazy. Like, I don't know if he's running like 130 psi or something, but he's able just to spin like a freaking tornado now. It's wild. But yeah, this is how a lot of people learn it. This is actually how I learned it too. You can get into the elbow glide and you can just walk into it. And you could just kind of learn the balance point. Now the thing is I learned it from the whiplash because I wanted to... Why did I learn it from the whiplash? I think it's because I elbow glide on my opposite elbow or something like that. And yeah, that's why I started doing it that way. But yeah, shout out to Matt Wilhelm for teaching the elbow glide. And okay, now we got another clip of a very rare elbow glide. I had to really go into the catacombs and the crypts to find this one because I was like, I know there's a street elbow glide line that I remember seeing. And yeah, here it is. And if you guys know any elbow glide lines that are your favorites, please let me know. Okay, so this is, by the way, shout outs to Joel Schallhorn. I think this video, this video is from 8 years ago. Holy moly, dude. He did this 8 years ago, man. Let's watch this. So here's Joel Schallhorn. He does actually a very rare street elbow glide line. He gets into the, it's I guess a whiplash into an elbow glide. Into some sort of, what is that? Some sort of nose pick, rebate, tail whip thing. Dude, what in the world? This spot's just weird too. I've never seen something like this. Like, is this just, I don't know, wait, where do you even find a spot like that? That's crazy, huh? I bet skateboarders would freaking love that spot, man. I can tell that. I bet this one took him a long time because that just has just the look of just like he probably battled this clip for freaking hundreds and hundreds of tries potentially. I don't know. I don't know if he actually did that, but watch it again. Man, what a trip, dude. Shout out to Joel Schallhorn. Okay, let's watch another one. Now this is a cool one because this is actually a fakie elbow glide, and this is from, let's see here, BMX Freestyle Jamaica up in here. Now this is a cool one because you can, he's actually riding in a really little space. It's probably about the same area of space that is maybe in the garage and stuff like that. Let's watch this one. So this one, he's going in from I think a fire hydrant. And from that, you can, I guess if you go in from a fire hydrant, you can go into a fakie elbow glide. Which I have never done that, dude. What in the world? Dude, that looks freaking crazy. That is a cool looking trick. I'm gonna watch that again, dude. That thing is gnarly. I'm gonna be honest, I've never really even seen it. Well, I guess I've seen this edit, but I feel like this is the only guy I've ever seen really do a fakie elbow glide. It's like, how did you even come up with that trick? I guess sometimes I wonder if these guys like maybe do something on accident. They're like, oh, I can maybe get into elbow gliding. Dude, that trick looks freaking cool. Nicely done, dude. Hopefully this guy's still riding up in here. And for the last legend, the legend himself. This is actually the very edit. I guess this isn't the... well, I guess this is one's from actually Snakebite. This one's the Day Smith testimony. There's like an older... it's the same edit that gets uploaded, but there's an older one, right? And that's actually the one that actually really, really got me into Flatland, really, because Day Smith was the first Flatlander I really looked up on YouTube. But this is definitely a legendary one, and it's kind of, let's watch this. Let's watch this up in here. Dude, what in the world is that trick? That trick is freaking crazy, bro. Let me get your wit up. What trick is this called? Does anybody know? He's like doing like a steamroller. It's like a steamroller look, he pivots on his foot right there. And then he goes into a backwards Carl Cruiser. And then look, he goes into, what is that? Into a switch. Oh, look, it's a switch foot donut. Holy moly, I guess maybe we could get closer to learning this trick. Okay, switch foot donut into elbow glide. Now, this is a very, very rare trick right here. I think Dave Smith might be the only one that's done this trick. Now, shout outs to Ryan Russell. He's actually one of the flatliners that actually got me into flatline. I'm going to shout out to Ryan Russell if you're out there, if you're going to watch this video. But he used to ride with Dave Smith, and he knows how Dave Smith actually did this trick, which I never knew how he did this trick until I was I showed him this clip again, and he started talking about it, right? Now, how Dave Smith is doing this, it's a no-footed elbow glide, right? So how he is doing this is you can't really see it, but his pedal is actually underneath right here. And if you angle your pedal at a certain degree, he's actually using his thumb and he's pressing his back brake lever. So he's pressing his back brake lever and it's causing his crank arm to stop right there, and you can sit on your crank arm right there, and you're able to take your feet off. I was like, what in the world? I never knew about that lore. But look, man, dude, that is a freaking crazy trick right up in there. Like, what in the world? Like, it's crazy that he did that trick from that first, like, weird steamroller switchfoot donut line into there, and then goes into this thing, right? But anyway, everybody, shout outs to the legend himself, Dave Smith. And what's crazy is this bike seems like, I think someone was telling me this bike was like 40 pounds. I don't know if it was actually 40 pounds, but someone was telling me like these bikes used to be really, really, really heavy. And yeah, anyway, everybody, I guess not me, just rambling up in here, huh? Hope you guys learned something about the elbow glide. The elbow glide is actually a really, really fun trick. It's actually more of a consistent trick once you get the hang of it, because you can lock in. Once you get that lock in down, it's just like super fun. But alrighty, everybody. I guess this concludes the end of this. I don't know, what are these things even called? Update things. As I'll just put I don't know if I should I put this in the front of the clips, or I don't know what we're gonna do. But peace out, everybody. Continue to try your best and have fun. Just like I say with a lot of them, what's really cool about flatland is, bro, you can learn flatland in really minimal spaces, bro. I saw there's this one X Games, I don't know his name, some Japanese X Games rider, and I literally see him practicing in a square, like a little sheet of wood, like a little pallet of wood. And bro, this dude's doing bike flips. This dude's doing like it's like literally a pallet of wood, like 5 by 7 foot or something like that. So it's like, bro, if you only need 5 by 7 feet to do some crazy like freaking 10 combo tricks, dude, that's insanity, huh? But farewell, everybody.